I don't know why the thunder is doing that. Okay, so this is a slightly better version of that thing. This timer goes twice and changes this hopper from being on or off and that hopper from being on or off. But for every one time around for the timer, it activates the crafter if it has logs in it. So what that means is it divides the output between this box and that box. Because every time this goes twice, it turns this one on or off. Which every time this turns on or off, it switches which output is on or off. It's freaking thunder, man. So every time this lights up, it makes planks, and whichever one of these is off is the one that gets planks. So it would, every time this ticks, it goes planks, planks, and then it switches, and then it goes planks, planks, and then it switches, and then it goes. So now the next part of this, I'm not sure which output to connect the next splitter to. If that makes any sense. Like, because if I connected it to this one and had the same inverter and the same splitter hooked up to 4 more boxes, 2 for each side, then they need to alternate the way that that one does to where it goes through every possible cycle. If that makes any sense. Like, I did get that one to work, but I don't really understand exactly how I got it to work. So from here, that's on the 2 cycle to control which side gets planks, because there's sticks and planks on this one. And then from there it goes to a second double cycle. And then from the second double cycle, it powers the same layer on the... So that's to split the planks between these two. And then from there, this is connected from, what, 2? Or does this only go to 1? This only goes to 1, and it's connected to... That doesn't make any sense. It's connected to the same cycle as the beginning of these two. And it only goes to 1 and not 2. But it does... It does distribute items pretty evenly between 4 outputs. I mean, all of this just to make fence. To where you put whatever log type in and it spits out fence of whatever log type it is. And I'm trying to figure out a better way to do this, because I was looking at the video that I had uploaded, and this right here messes with the distribution, because that's deactivating this hopper every time the cycle goes. And I was like, why is it not the same? I thought it was the ticks between the repeaters that was throwing everything off, because I mean, that does happen, like, but no, it's because I was turning off that output. This fixes that problem. So, and I'm trying to simplify in my own mind, like, how do I line these up to power the next layers of splitting to where all the potential cycles go through, but it's offset? Like, do I connect it to this output with another T flip-flop? Because then it would always... I mean, then every cycle, it would switch every cycle. So that would mean that every time that this cycled from this side to this side, that one would cycle from that side to that side. Which, that would leave out the other half of the combinations. So no, so I think it has to be 2 every time from the end of the output of the T flip-flops to keep it in the same cycle as the 2 to 1 from the beginning from these two. And this is what I mean, like, I gotta simplify it, like, just memorize a block pattern and like... But I think these are pretty cool. They're pulse-powered switches. And you can use them as a memory cell if you put a reset on them. Like if you put a block that's on top of this one that's not connected to the input on its own input, like this, and then just ran redstone to that block only. And connected it to all the memory cells, you could reset this with a pulse, because that would always put the grass block or whatever block in the bottom, which would turn it off. Like, so this part is right, this part is right, and I think I would have to add another 2 cycles, because then that would mean that for every time this went on or off twice, the switcher here would go from this box to this box. And the splitter that comes off of these would go every 2 cycles on this side, and then cycle over to this side, and every 2 cycles on that side. And I think that's the simplest way to do this. If I chain these in a series of a splitter, and then put the output for the next 2 memory cell things here, if I did 2 in a row after this output every time, that should give me every possible combination of every box through the cycle. I mean, I could probably fix why it's doing that, but I kind of think it's cool. Like, I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, I did the weather clear thing, but like... And this works. But this is still me trying to figure out how to split items between boxes, and this is like version number 3 or 4, and try to get it simplified into a pattern. Like, okay, it was cool, and now it's kind of irritating. Like, well, I mean, I guess I could set up a test thing without actually building the thing there. Let's do the piston thing. So, and it's like a visual representation. It's like an indicator light that makes noise. So if that was one chest and the other chest from one side, no, that's still wrong. I need these things again. So the input, is it 2 or 3? It's 2. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a grass block. It could be like a whatever block. But it does have to be a block and not a block with a different redstone value for the comparator. Okay, so that's just gonna stay on.